let's talk about our top 5 biopics.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this one. So we're gonna roll through. So number 5 on both our lists, I went with Miracle, about the 1980 U.S. men's hockey team who went on to beat Russia, and you went with Lawrence of Arabia, which is an amazing choice. Can you tell us a little bit what you like about that movie?
It's probably one of the first like militaristic movies my dad introduced to me, and I just fell in love with it. We watched that, then shortly thereafter watched Ben-Hur. And I fell in love with it. The acting and the cinematography. It's fun just how kind of grainy it is, because it's an older movie. It's a long movie, but it's very interesting because growing up as a kid, I didn't think Lawrence of Arabia was a real thing. I thought it was just a fictitious story because they did it so well. And it goes back to, like you're saying, when biopics, I think, were done right, because I thought it was so good. There's no way this is about a real person. I thought it was completely made up, and it's actually really good.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I love Lawrence of Arabia. It's not one of my top 5, but the pinnacle of filmmaking. And Miracle, for me, it's just one of those moments in history that just feels good. And this movie, I think, really encapsulated that really well. It's done by Disney. Disney does really good, inspiring sports movies. Yes, and this is one of them. And but the nice part about this was they did this movie, and it is inspiring, there's all that, but it is a really inspiring, true moment, at least. So it's like, it's cool that I'm watching something, and that's going to be a theme on my list, I think. Like special things in time with the biopics. But let's go to number 4. I went with Malcolm X, one of my all-time favorites. I love this movie for good reason. It's a great biopic. Everybody check it out. And you chose an equally, I think, great movie, Catch Me If You Can. What do you think? What about that one sticks out to you?
So I just enjoyed that movie. Once again, it was one of those movies, I thought it was a completely fictitious story. Then I found out that was a real person, and I was like, oh, that's even cooler, and you look into him and you realize, they kind of dumbed down all the, cons he actually pulled off. They talk about the big ones in the movie, but he did a lot of smaller ones as well. And it's like, oh, wow. Like, it's crazy that someone's mind can think that way. Because, I'm not trying to say I try to think like a thief, but I try to think ahead of things that could happen. And my mind doesn't work that way, of doing fake checks or this, that, and other. And it's just amazing to me how someone can have, 20 ideas and make stupid amounts of money before the government even catches them. Wow.
I would just want one good idea to make money.
Right.
Don't catch me, because I'll do it legally. I just want one good idea that will catch, and I'll make some money. I'm not even saying I want all the money.
We'll just make your biopic called "Let Me If You Can."
Oh my God! Let me have some money. Just please let me have some money if you can. I'll work for it.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm sad because I don't have any, and everything's going up except gas. Busting thoughts. But that one was said to me earlier, and I had to just add it. Wasn't even for anybody's effect. Like it. Number 3 for me is Walk the Line.
Heck yeah,
great fucking movie. Great freaking movie. God. I'm trying not to so bad. I'm trying not to curse so bad. I'm not doing well. And The King's Speech, both great movies in my opinion. I love Walk the Line. It's just the music sticks out to me. I think it's great performances. And it's just one that I can revisit over and over again. But The King's Speech, what stuck out to you with that one?
I feel like a lot of times I've always held anything in England at like a higher regard. Like everyone's all proper, like almost perfection, right? Because that's all. A lot of Hollywood almost makes you think with a lot of situations with them. So with King's Speech, it was very eye-opening, being like, oh, someone that's supposed to be king has, somewhat, I'm not going to say a problem. We'll say that, a different special, I don't know, disability, because he can't speak correctly. And just having to go through that.
A certain type of disability in his speech, for sure, with the stutter and such. Yeah, it was a great movie.
I loved it. And this is one where I think they humanized him in a great way. They made it very entertaining and very fun and paid respect to him. And I think that's how, I don't know, I just wish they did it more like that, if they were going to show more of a human aspect of someone having flaws and not just being like, flaws, cool, like they did it right.
No, they did, overcoming them and becoming a great king. So I love that. Well done. I like that pick. Our number 2s, I went with Ed Wood. I love this movie so much. It's a great filmmaking movie. Johnny Depp does great in it. Tim Burton's style in it is fantastic. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, check it out. It's weird.
It's on my list.
Oh, you've never seen it? It's cool for horror. It's very odd.
Okay.
I think you'll really dig it.
I trust you.
Open one night. I would if you ever want to watch that, a great double feature with that is watch Plan 9 right afterwards.
Okay.
Because it's about the making of Plan 9. So
okay.
It's well it's a well done movie. And Plan 9 from Outer Space, for anybody who's watching and listening, was widely considered Edward Jr.'s movie, widely considered one of the worst movies of all time. I love it. But yeah, definitely check this out. But I haven't seen this is the one I haven't seen on this list, and that is Love and Mercy. And I guess it's about the Beach Boys.
God. Yeah, it's specifically more mostly pertains more to Brian Wilson. Okay. I will say this has sentimental value to me because my uncle Jim was a huge Beach Boys fan, and my mom has always been Beatles. And so I told my uncle, I was like, I've always thought, Beatles put them to shame, blah, blah. And he was like, well, and he tried explaining it. Well, this movie came out coincidentally while I was at the lake house. So I told my uncle, since I was big on movies, I was like, hey, let's go see this together and we'll see what I think of the Beach Boys after. And this just made me fall in love with their whole story. Brian Wilson. I think John Cusack does a phenomenal job with them. Paul Dano. It made me fall in love with Paul Dano. The music and how their minds work, talking about his mental health and their schemy manager. It's very entertaining. This is one I can watch at least twice a year and still love it.
Nice. I definitely will check it out. I wanted to hear what you had to say before I watched it, but yeah, I love the Beach Boys. I think they have great music. So I wouldn't mind, and they have such a heartbreaking story. But yeah, it's so well done. So I can't wait to check this out. And I love John Cusack.
Yes.
Good pick, man. Our number ones, Cinderella Man. This is my all-time favorite biopic. I love Cinderella Man. I think it's the best boxing movie. And I know I'm saying that. You got Rocky and everything, but I really do. I think this is the best boxing movie. And it's just a great movie in general. So go check it out if you haven't. But you chose Kubrick on Kubrick. Why did you choose that one?
Because I'm an idiot. I didn't do the correct parameters. Because after we talked about parameters, you were, like I said, you were correct. I was like, wait, a documentary is actual fact, through and through, as opposed to a biopic. So I did choose this before I had my correct parameters. With the parameters, I did go with American Sniper.
Okay.
Just so everybody knows. But as for Kubrick, I love Kubrick. I get, he was a hard director to work with. He was over top. He was anal. He was insane because he had that passion and that outlook. And that's what I love. That's what,
he was
about Kubrick. Oh my God. He's just, and everything meant something to him. And I respect that, and I can imagine being an actor, how annoying that has to be. Because I know, even on the one film set I got to work on, after doing a couple of takes, even the director, I could see him being like, all right, I think we got it at least one of those times. Let's move on. And that was just a handful of times. He'd do like 100 shoots of the same scene and still be like, it's not right. And I can imagine just that,
like when it came to Shelley Duvall, a lot of it was like he needed her to be so worn out and manic. He needed that. And I'm not saying it was right. I'm not defending anything. I'm just saying it wasn't even just about this one aspect of getting it right. It was also like, physically torturing her, so she'll be tortured for the movie. And again, not defending it, but he was that type of haunted genius. Another one, just two things, just to say real quick. One, I don't want to do this. You should go and look up the story behind American Sniper, like the real story. And then the second one is check out RKO 281. It's about It's about Orson Welles making Citizen Kane.
Okay.
And how the entire movie was a spite movie.
Really?
Against the most powerful person in the country. It didn't work out for him. But it's worth watching. Liev Schreiber plays him in the movie. And I think it's John Malkovich plays Henry Mankiewicz, who wrote it, and so it's just it's a fantastic movie. If you haven't had a chance to see it and you do like that, like the filmmaking side of that, go check that one out. I think you would too. I can give you a ton of those. Don't worry about that.
Heck yeah.
Hollywood loves to stroke itself, and I know them all.
Hell yeah.
All right, but that's our picks. That's our picks for these lovely biopics. Go check them out and let us know what you think. But let's get to our first review.